Good afternoon, my LA people and beyond. It's your man DTLF back with another podcast today. Episode 6 Rumors versus Reality. Now, I know how to tackle this subject eventually, simply because, like I told you guys before the offseason for the Lakers started, there was going to be tons of rumors and fake news trying to, trash and harass the Lakers. That's all they ever do is clickbait. They need some sort of source of material, and for some reason, they love to pick on the purple and gold. We have a huge target on our back. So, it's tough to hear all this stuff, especially when half of these narratives are being created by clickbait websites and cheap talk show hosts and stuff like that. So, it's unfortunate, but we gotta debunk some of these rumors today. Hopefully, give you guys some peace of mind if you guys were worried. But today we're going to separate the rumors going around the league from the actual stuff that may happen. Now let's start off with the biggest rumor regarding the Lakers, or should I say lie, and that is trading LeBron James. For now, it's just a rumor, guys. Let me tell you guys something, man. In the NBA, you don't go from point A to point Z in regards to doing business. It doesn't happen like that. It would be a bad idea to trade LeBron without him asking for a trade. We need to go down and exhaust every resource before going down that path. You guys know that. We can't just say, wake up one morning and say, okay, let's trade LeBron. We're going to get a nice little package for him. Let's just trade him away. And you don't think there's going to be any repercussions or any backlash? It's horrible. I mean, that would be suicide for Jeanie. And I think everybody would implore her to sell the team simply because you didn't exhaust every single resource. And what I mean by that, like I mentioned last week, the first thing you got to try to do is land a max free agent. We're closer to competing for a title than to rebuilding. Why throw it all away and start the rebuild all over again? Of course, with some nice young pieces, but why do that when you're closer to actually, getting to a championship if you land a max free agent, right? Depends on the caliber of the max free agent, but at least compete. And like I mentioned last week, try to land a max free agent. That has to be the first thing on their list. Then they have to try to trade for another one if they do land one, or even if they don't, especially if they don't, they have to try to trade for another superstar. If everything else fails, it's not the end of the world. We still have LeBron. We have a great young core who I believe is going to take it to the next step this upcoming season. I think they're going to take it up a notch upcoming season. But another young asset in the form of a draft pick, we still have that, and a promising coach with experience. So it's not the end of the world that we have to go in with this same roster, adding another draft pick and maybe a couple of role players from the free agent market. Not the end of the world. Sure, it's not ideal, especially, LeBron turning 35 next season, but it's not the end of the world. But to me, all indications are that LeBron is happy, and he wants to retire a Laker from what I'm hearing. So for now, let's put that trade rumor to bed. It's just a rumor. LeBron will not get traded as of today, as of right now. So let's put that to bed. Moving on to the next rumor. The Lakers gave a promise to Darius Garland. That's also a rumor, guys. And what I mean is it holds no merit. From what I'm hearing, it's either the Lakers or the Suns, right? According to reports. But to me, however, it makes more sense if the Suns were the ones that gave him that promise. Since they are desperate they're in desperate need for a point guard for years already. Ever since trading away Dragic. Desperate need for a point guard. And it makes more sense to me for the Lakers to work everyone out from the 4 to 7 range and see who we like before giving any draft day promises. So I'll put that rumor to rest as well. That's just another rumor. Lakers giving a promise to Darius Garland, unless they were extremely blown away by his collegiate career, which I don't see how. He only played 5 games. I do like the prospect. He is my favorite out of the bunch. But you have to also give a chance to Jarrett Culver. And you have to give a chance to Cam Reddish and all these other young prospects. You have to do your due diligence as a franchise. So I doubt it was the Lakers. It sounds to me more like it was the Phoenix Suns. Does that mean that the Lakers still won't take him? No, not at all. It just means that we probably didn't go into the draft combine like chickens with our head cut off and just give a promise to anybody. That's not how it works. Again, I could be wrong, but to me, I believe this is just a rumor. But the third and final rumor that I want to talk about is Kyrie to the Lakers. That's an intriguing rumor right there. And I believe this one actually holds merit. Well, Stephen A. has contradicted himself in, recently reporting that At first, he reported that people close to Kyrie were telling Stephen A. that there was no way Kyrie would end up or would re-up with LeBron in LA. They said there were no way. They were adamant about it, according to Stephen A. Well, recently, Stephen A. has reported that Kyrie to LA is a real possibility. That he's been talking to Kobe. So to me, that's great news. Talking to Kobe equals Kobe selling you on our franchise. Let me tell you why. This is why that's such great news for me. I asked myself, right? Besides the fact that Kyrie looks up to Kobe, what could he be talking to Kobe about? Well, isn't it obvious, guys? It's obvious to me that Kyrie actually wants to come to the Lakers, but he is asking Kobe about the organization and how trustworthy this front office could, be potentially, despite all the turmoil in the media. Enter Kobe. He loves this franchise, right? We all know that. And he loves Jeanie and Rob. So I think Kobe has, and maybe already recruited Kyrie. I mean, who better than Kobe, right? Who better than Kobe, who was treated so great by his franchise even after he tore his Achilles? We gave him the max deal, which kind of handcuffed us for the next couple of years. Who better than Kobe, who has gone through a similar split with Shaq that Kyrie went through with LeBron, right? Who better to advise him and could advise Kyrie to put his ego aside like Kobe wishes he and Shaq would have in favor of winning more championships? Who better than Kobe to advise Kyrie? That's all I'm saying. Not to mention the fact that, LeBron and Kyrie put their differences aside during the season with the whole ordeal when Kyrie called up LeBron to apologize. I mean, that's big time. That to me sounds like the man has already put his ego to the side and he has decided that he might potentially give it another try with LeBron. So to me, Kyrie to the Lakers holds a lot of merit and actual credibility. Not to mention that yesterday he was spotted in LA shopping and Lakers fans let him know we wanted him. I appreciate Lakers fans' passion, man. They were out there waiting for him to come out of that store and they were chanting, Kyrie to the Lakers. I love it. That's what Laker Nation is known for. We let people we want know we want them. Just like we did Paul George. Unfortunately, Paul George, was death or something. But Kyrie Irving, to me, one thing I noticed, and as you guys know, I love reading tea leaves. I did it the year we got LeBron, with him buying multiple houses, checking out schools in LA. You got to read the tea leaves because a lot of the times it tells you exactly what's going on. And to me, the look on Kyrie's face was happy. So he loves it here in LA, in my opinion. I mean, I hadn't seen Kyrie smile for Boston fans the way he smiled to Laker fans yesterday during that very short clip when he was getting inside of his car. Go ahead and check that out if you guys don't believe me. But that smile that Kyrie gave was almost reassuring to Laker fans. It was almost like he knew something we don't. Like I said, I hadn't seen him ever smile like that for Boston fans. So that's good news to me. That with the combination of Kobe Bryant, in his ear, LeBron James, in his ear, him looking up to Magic, even though Magic stepped down, could have potentially hurt him. But I think that's why he decided to talk to Kobe about it and see how great of a person Jeanie Buss is to work for. And maybe is Rob Pelinka is trustworthy, or is the stuff that's being heard around the league legit? I mean, I don't see no other reason for Kobe and Kyrie to be talking so much other than the fact that Kyrie's truly considering the Lakers. And like I said, he has a relatable situation. Kobe and Shaq have been on the record as to say they wish they would have put their egos aside in favor of winning. Because winning truly cures everything, guys. When you're young like Kyrie or like Kobe was in his prime, of course they want to prove themselves individually. But when they mature and they realize that winning cures everything, and it feels so much better to win with somebody great by your side than to lose with nobody by your side. When they finally realize that, team first before ego, then they truly reach their full potential like Kobe did when he had Gasol. They truly start reaching their full potential and everything comes full circle. So that's what I'm looking for. Like I said, I love paying attention to little things. It's fun reading the tea leaves. And as of now, if I had to bet the house on it, Kyrie will be a Laker. So you heard it here first, guys. That's my theory, right? It's not official till it's official. So for now, it's just a theory. But my theory and my hot take of this morning is Kyrie Irving will be a Laker come June 30th, right? Because they moved up the free agency period a couple of hours. So June 30th, we can start finding out who signed with who after. I think they said after 6 p.m. So get ready for part 2, Laker fans, because I can't wait, I think it's going to go down this summer. Kyrie back with LeBron. Anyways, I'm going to head over to the comment section, to Twitter. Told you guys every morning, post your questions. And if they make it on time, I'll read them. And I'll try to do my best to answer them. If they don't, remember, this podcast is going to be up by 12, hopefully, if YouTube allows it to be. So if I missed your question, I apologize ahead of time. But, next time try to post it a little bit earlier with the hashtag City of Angels. So let's move on to our very first Twitter question from, let's see if I get this name right, LaVacation Mode James. I like that, LaVacation Mode James. He asked me to give my thoughts on this article from Silver Screen and Roll that says people close to LeBron James are getting worried that the dysfunction within the Lakers will make it hard for him to recruit free agents. I'm sure they're worried. I am very sure they are worried. And we don't just have the Kyrie Irving rumor. We have, the Kawhi Leonard situation. We have a couple of situations this summer that we got to keep our close eye on if we're Laker fans, right? But, yeah, of course they're worried. I believe they're worried. They should be. But, like I said, Kyrie, to me, might already be in the bag. Him talking to Kobe, to me, seals the deal. Remember, we have the best closer in the history of the game, in my opinion, and that's Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. He's going to close the deal for us, I believe, with Kyrie. Kyrie has been his godson. Well, I don't know if it's officially his godson, but I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, he really looks up to Kobe Bryant. So, moving on to the next question. Jonathan Sofel. What's up, buddy? How you doing? He said, keep up the great work. If the Lakers miss out on free agency, should they blow up this team, and how? All right, Jonathan. So this is pretty much a question I've answered in the past podcasts or whatnot. But I will do it again just because I got mad love for you. And that is, if the Lakers miss out on free agency, should they blow up the team? Like I said, I believe they should exhaust every single resource before they go down that route, right? And by blowing up the team, I assume you mean trade LeBron James, because we definitely should hold on to the young core regardless. But again, if the Lakers don't land a free agent, I think we should try to trade for a superstar or an all-star like Bradley Beal potentially. That'll be huge. Should we give up the whole farm? No. But we should try to trade a decent package for Bradley Beal. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Kyle Kuzma in the 4th pick for Bradley Beal works. Or something like that. But if that doesn't work, then we try to go into next season with this roster, man. I believe guys like Brandon, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo, Josh Hart are getting ready to take another step in their basketball careers, and they're going to get better this summer. Why not go into one more season with the roster, with LeBron James? And if LeBron James asks for a trade, then so be it. Then you blow it up. But if LeBron James does not ask for a trade, you keep on developing this young core, you keep on getting better, you keep on accumulating assets, and you get ready for the next phase, and that would be after, right? That would be post LeBron James phase. So yes, that's what I got to say about that, man. Do we blow up the whole roster if we don't land free agents? I say no. I say go down the ladder and make sure everything happens according to plan. So it's a great question, by the way. I love answering questions like these because it puts me in the position of the GM. And we all like to play GM in our minds. So thanks for the question. All right. Kuz on Twitter asks, should Jeanie Buss sell the team? If she continues down this path and she continues to make huge mental mistakes and errors and surround herself with people that are going to advise her poorly, I say yes. But I'm willing to give Jeanie Buss one more season to turn things around. All right, I've thought about this long and hard. And I know I said she should sell the team a couple of times because I was really frustrated with everything being reported with Kurt and Jeanie. With Kurt and Linda Rambis. And, multiple people that aren't supposed to be advising her getting in her ear. Yes, I was upset. But I'm willing to give her this summer to recruit and this next season. If she doesn't swing any major trades that benefit us in the long run and for now, or if she doesn't land max free agents or doesn't fix the roster properly, then yes, I believe she should sell the team. But I'm willing to give her one more year. I'm a patient man, And I still got love for Jeanie. I just hope that she has love, the same love we have for her, for the city. She returns it and shows that love in a smart way to help the roster moving forward. Second part of that question from Kuz. Thoughts on Josh Hart's wild comments? I'm glad you asked that question because I was about to address it during the second part of my segment. But I'll go ahead and liquidate that right now. So if you guys haven't heard, Josh Hart was in a radio station yesterday. I think it was AM 570. I'm not sure. But he was on a radio station yesterday. And they were asking him multiple questions. And people always try to get some juicy stuff. That's why they ask questions. He said some things that pretty much caused some headlines. If you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. But what do I believe about Josh Hart? I believe he's a good kid. I don't think he meant any harm to Frank Vogel with his comments as far as saying that he doesn't believe in basketball analytics and 45-year-olds with no athletic bone in their body telling him what to do. I think that was more of a shot towards the fans, and I think he clarified that up on Twitter when he went on Twitter and said that people that never play basketball don't know what they're talking about. I will advise him to be careful with what he says. We have a target on our back, and they're just looking to flip everything into some sort of a story against the Lakers. But Josh Hart is a good dude. I wouldn't worry about him being uncoachable. I think he's going to have a good year, bounce back year next season, and I look forward to seeing him on the court. However, I do disagree with what he said. There's been plenty of head coaches that never played the game that have been great head coaches in this league. I don't want to go down the list and name them all, but you can go ahead and do your research if you don't believe me. There's been plenty of great basketball minds and analysts that have broken down the game and know the game of basketball. And all I have to say to Josh Hart is some people learn by watching and some people learn by doing. I actually believe that people that learn by watching and not doing are actually faster learners than people that learn by doing. So to me, they're a little bit smarter on that end simply because they don't have to go through it to learn. It's like the person that has to take the lumps in the head and learn by experience, right? There's people that learn from watching other people take lumps in their head and by other experiences. And to me, that's actually smarter because you don't have to go through the same pains. But I see what Josh Hart means. I myself, I have been playing basketball all my life. Some organized, some are mostly unorganized because, street ball and all that and going up to rec centers and wrecking people on the courts and stuff like that. So I know where he's coming from. I'm a baller myself. Maybe not on a professional level like him, but I'm definitely an observer of the game and I know my basketball. So I'm not insulted by his comments. However, he does have to be extremely careful with what he says moving forward because like he witnessed yesterday, everything can be construed and twisted against you, and they could take it out of context, meaning they only take a little portion of the clip of what you said and don't play the whole thing and could totally, completely flip the script on what you said and make it sound really bad. So let it just be a lesson to Josh Hart and hopefully be careful with what he says moving forward. But next question from, let's see who we got here. The Lakers Throne. He said, when healthy and in their prime, rank these players. Brandon Roy, ooh. Derrick Rose, ooh. And Tracy McGrady. One of my favorites all time, by the way. Great question, Lakers Throne. I'll say this, brother. There's two parts of this question. The first one I'm going to answer right now. I'll answer the second part right now. I haven't read it yet. But he said, when healthy in their prime, rank these players, right? Between Brandon Roy, Derrick Rose, and T-Mac. Well, Brandon Roy had a lot of heart and passion, and I respect him. But obviously, out of the three, he gets ranked number 3. Even though he had a little bit of Mamba mentality in him. He was very clutch. He would hit some tough shots. And I loved watching Brandon Roy during his short career with the Portland Trail Blazers. But I have to rank him number 3. And here's where it gets really tough. Derrick Rose versus Tracy McGrady. Both great players, amazing players. But they both had injury problems. Well, actually, all 3 of those players had injury problems. But Derrick Rose was just on another level as far as speed, agility, getting in the lane, and even taking the Miami Heat. Was it the Miami Heat or the Cleveland Cavaliers? I don't remember. But he took LeBron James in his prime to battle with a lesser talent. Yes, he had Joakim Noah, Ben Gordon, Kirk Heinrich. But who are those players compared to Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and Ray Allen and players like that? So I believe that I would have to take Derrick Rose, man, because Derrick Rose was one of mine's and my favorite and my brother's favorite players in his prime before he started, tearing his ACLs and all that, man. And it's unfortunate what happened to Rose, but thankfully he's still in the league and doing damage. T-Mac was one of my favorite players, very flashy, very exciting to watch. Who could ever forget what he did to San Antonio, in less than a minute, caught up, down 12. But yeah, I have to take Derrick Rose, man. Derrick Rose is just on another level as far as speed. I had never seen a player so quick and agile and able to get in the lane and wreak havoc. And just, I think he was the youngest MVP ever as well. So, yep, I'm going with Derrick Rose, my top player. T-Mac number 2, Brandon Roy number 3. Love questions like that, man. Thank you so much for asking that question. That pretty much, brings back great memories. So, thanks. And part 2 of this question from the Lakers Stone is, who would you want out of those 3 on this year's Lakers? On this year's Lakers. Ooh, okay, that changes the question up a bit. Derrick Rose would be great, but we have Lonzo there. I feel like nowadays it's a wings league, right? Like I feel like you need to have an elite wing to compete. And if you paired up Tracy McGrady with LeBron, ooh, that would be extremely awesome. But same thing for Derrick Rose or Brandon Roy. Honestly, any of those 3 would fit in well, but just for need preference, I know we have plenty of wings with Brandon Ingram and Kuz and LeBron, but I think I'd take T-Mac on this team simply because, man, T-Mac, big time shot maker, big time shot taker. He was a solid defender. He had great size at 6'8", 6'9", with a good wingspan. And just an out-of-this-world athlete. Can you guys imagine Lonzo Ball and LeBron James throwing up lobs to a prime T-Mac? Yeah, I'd probably have to take T-Mac just for that simple reason that I feel like he fits in, would give us more size, and would make us extremely competitive. Again, great question, man. Moving on, Alpha on Twitter asks, assuming any of the young core does not get traded, who should the Lakers build around for the long term? Any of the young core does not get traded, I think they should build around all 3 of them. Lonzo, Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. Those are our top 3. And I really had loved the way Zubac was moving into that top 3 and becoming a big 4. But unfortunately, we traded him, so I can't include him. Josh Hart had a bad year. I think he can bounce back and maybe join that core group. But for now, he's a B-tier young player. I think Lonzo has shown more than enough promise when healthy. Kuzma has shown more than enough promise, and Ingram really was coming into his own before he got injured. So all 3 of them, build around all 3, and we will have an extremely bright future. And the last question on Twitter is, he said, from Lakers for Life at Lucky Navarro 3 says, hashtag City of Angels. G, do you believe these reports about Kawhi and Kyrie coming to LA, and do you think Ingram will be unleashed? First off, I want to see Ingram back healthy. Great question, by the way. I want to see Brandon Ingram back healthy with the Lakers, and I want to see him succeed individually. So yeah, I think he'll be unleashed, of course. And I think his hunger he has a passion for basketball. He says he does nothing outside of playing basketball. He practices, breathes, eats, sleeps basketball, right? And that's what I love about Brandon. He has all the tools and the mentality to be great. Now, let me reread that question. Let me see. I already forgot. Sorry about that. He said, do you believe the reports about Kawhi and Kyrie coming to LA? I believe Kyrie more than Kawhi, but I would love it if it was Kawhi instead, or we found a way to trade for one and sign the other one. That would be amazing. We'd have a big 3, probably the best big 3 in the league. Yes, that includes the Golden State Warriors, because Kawhi is that good, and LeBron is that good, and so is Kyrie. So, I do believe the Kyrie rumor, Kawhi to be determined. And I hope he comes to the Lakers. I'm really hoping for him. You guys know he's the top one on my list. But I hope that Brandon Ingram is unleashed as well. And we'll see what happens moving forward. But that's going to wrap it up for the Twitter portion. Right? Let me double check and make sure I didn't miss anybody's questions before I get off of Twitter really quick. But thank you so much, man, for getting involved. And just making this segment that much better, man. You guys are always asking questions that are on point. It looks like I got them all. If I missed any of your questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section of this video. Or just wait till next week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do the City of Angels podcast. So Wait till next week. One thing I wanted to address before I got off, and this is not Laker related, but I think it was pretty funny. Chris Broussard versus Kevin Durant. Now, I'm sure you guys already know the story, right? If you don't, go ahead and catch up. Go YouTube Chris Broussard versus Kevin Durant, or go on Twitter and check out those tweets. But those two are going at each other. And it's Chris Broussard's credibility versus KD's credibility. Who should we believe? Honestly, I believe Chris Broussard. And I don't like Chris Broussard very much, but I think Kevin Durant is just being sensitive. He's always been sensitive, and that's his one downfall. I feel like he shouldn't listen to what the media has to say about him. Just prove himself out on the court, which he already has done. But just continue to prove yourself out on the court, and everything else takes care of itself. But I think it was funny how Kevin Durant told Chris Broussard that he doesn't even have his number or anything like that. I feel like Chris Broussard does have his number, and I feel like they do text back and forth because KD seems like that type of person. But I don't see any reason why Chris Broussard would lie about that whole story, and then with the potential of looking ridiculous. Obviously, if he was lying, Kevin Durant was going to come out and say it, right? I don't see any reason why Chris Broussard would put his reputation on the line like that just for the sake of telling a story. Honestly, I believe that Kevin Durant didn't like what Chris Broussard was saying about him, and so decided to try to get a little revenge by putting him under the hot pressure of calling him a liar, right? These are basketball analysts, and they are the insiders, so their credibility really matters a lot for their job. So I thought it was a little messed up, if it is true. Again, we don't know yet, but if it's true, that Kevin Durant and Chris Broussard were actually talking, communicating, I thought it was a little messed up that KD, came out and said, he's lying. So, but we'll see what happens with that whole situation. It's really not that relevant. I just thought it was a little funny. I went ahead, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I went ahead and tweeted something funny about the situation. So go ahead and check that out. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this podcast, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. And again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. We're going to cover everything from end to end all summer long. If anything breaks, I got you guys on the live streams. Otherwise, I'll be here on these podcasts all summer long. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.